Hey everyone, I am Mike Benitez. Welcome to another video and welcome to another episode of Locomotive Histories. Today we'll be talking about the Union Pacific 4000 class, but more specifically, the Union Pacific number 4014. But first, let me give you all a little history about this class of locomotive. The Union Pacific was looking for more locomotives to haul faster trains. However, they were going to be too big, but they wanted much bigger locomotives. They had the 410-2 Overlands, the Challengers, and the 3900 class. But when World War II came in, the Union Pacific had to find more locomotives to haul more heavier freight trains, and so they came up with the 4000 class. The 4000 class is a 4884 steam locomotive, which is four sets of front truck wheels, two sets of 8 driving wheels, and 4 trailing wheels underneath the cab. This made one monstrous being. But the big boys was so large and steam hungry that the firemen by shoveling coal by hand didn't even have enough strength enough to make steam for the whistle. And so the solution was to have a screw drive coal from the tender to the firebox and would shoot it across the fire. And the firebox it is the size of a garage. Now you can see how big these locomotives were. The 4000 locomotives had a top speed of 80 miles an hour, which is kind of surprising, judging how big these locomotives were. And here is our title star, number 4014. These locomotives got a nickname for the Union Pacific, and their nickname was Big Boy. The big boys will haul heavy freight over Sherman Hill and the destinations. The big boys proved that they were the most powerful, and they still are the biggest steam locomotives in the world. However, even though their good speed and good performances, the diesels came. To the 1950s to 1960s, dieselization started to take over most of the railways, including the Union Pacific. The big boys were taken out of service, and some of them were scrapped. Sadly, 17 of these locomotives were scrapped. However, 7 are still on static display on this day. The 4004 is in Wyoming, and the 4005 is in Colorado. The 4005 was the only engine to have an accident involving a big boy where the engine jumped the tracks carrying a freight train. 3 people were killed in the incident. However, 4005 is still around to this day. The 4006 is in Missouri. The 4017 is in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the National Railroad Museum. The 4018 is at the Museum of the American Railroad in Frisco, Texas. The 4023 is in Omaha, Nebraska. The 4012 is at the Steamtown National Historic Site in Scranton, Pennsylvania. This site was originally known as Steamtown, USA, the haven for steam locomotives, and one of its surviving residents is the 4012. Since I live in Pennsylvania, I would love to go to see the 4012, but what about our main star, the 4014? Believe it or not, 4014 is coming back to life. She is in Cheyenne, Wyoming. However, she won't be there for long because she will be back in action. The Union Pacific announced that they will be making the 4014 into a restoration into operational service condition, which means she'll take excursion trains. Here we see the 4014 being moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming, so she can go on restoration. However, it doesn't seem that she'll be there that long as of now. Believe it or not, the 4014 will be back in service next year. I'm not kidding, folks. When she's back in service next year, she will haul excursion trains up and down the valleys of Utah across the Union Pacific Railroad. The 4014 will be probably the largest ever steam locomotive to ever be brought into restoration service, other than another Challenger locomotive. That being the 3985, but the 3985 is undergoing a overhaul, so the big boy will be taking her place until it returns, and then the big boy, the Challenger, and one more locomotive will be together. The other locomotive being the Steam Star Union Pacific 844. Since the 4014 will be back in service next year, I recommend that you go visit her in upcoming sites, and the Union Pacific YouTube channel has been giving updates. So here's what we know so far: the big boy is almost finished and will be in service between the end of this year and the start of next year. As of now, the 4014 is hopeful to be completed by the 150th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad of 1869-2019, and also the 75th anniversary of the Union Pacific 844. So I hope that anyone that sees this video hope to go see the 4014 back in action. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, if you're able to get to see the 4014 back in action next year, hopefully to go there and you'll get to see the big boy, the biggest locomotive ever to be put back in restoration. Thank you guys for enjoying this video of the Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014, and she will become the most famous of all big boys. I am Mike Benitez signing out on the story of Union Pacific number 4014. Please go visit her when she finished restoration and will be back in service in 2019. Bye!